the doorway to peace. An introduction to letting go of anger. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I get angry so quickly, even at the smallest things in life? Maybe while driving, stuck in traffic, a stranger cuts you off, and suddenly the entire day feels ruined. Or maybe someone close to you says a single harsh word, and you carry that pain for hours, even days. Why does anger take control so easily, even though deep inside we wish to be calm? Think for a moment. Imagine you hold a glass of water in your hand. If you hold it for 1 minute, it feels light. Hold it for an hour, and it starts hurting. Hold it for a whole day, and your arm becomes numb. Anger is exactly like that glass. It may feel small at first, but the longer you hold it, the heavier and more painful it becomes. Isn't it strange how something so simple can control our peace of mind? Welcome, dear friends, to Wisdom Woven. This is a space where we dive deep into timeless truths, life-changing wisdom, and the peaceful practices of Buddhism. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribes. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It truly means the world, and it helps us share these messages of peace with more hearts across the world. So, if you value calmness, peace, and inner freedom, don't forget to join our Wisdom Woven family today. Now, let's begin this beautiful journey. Anger is not something to be hated or feared. It is something to be understood. The Buddha taught that emotions are like visiting guests. They come, they stay for a while, and then they leave. But the problem is, when anger comes as a guest, we offer it a permanent room in our heart. We let it linger, eat our peace, and slowly destroy our joy. But what if we could open the door gently, greet it, and let it go without holding onto it? In Buddhism, anger is considered one of the 3 poisons, alongside greed and ignorance. These are not punishments, but natural struggles of the human mind. Anger feels powerful in the moment, but in truth, it is weakness. It burns our energy, clouds our thoughts, and damages our relationships. The secret is not to fight with anger, but to understand it with awareness. As we travel through this series, you will discover how to never let anger dominate your life again. You will learn how Buddhist wisdom, if practiced daily, can dissolve the grip of anger and replace it with compassion, patience, and true inner freedom. Today, in this introduction, think of it as planting a seed, the seed of peace. With care, it will grow into a strong tree that gives shade to your entire life. So, stay with us till the end, because what you will hear ahead may open the doors to a calmer, brighter, and joy-filled tomorrow. Dear listeners, let me share with you the gentle way Buddhism teaches us to see anger. Not as a curse, but as a message from within our own heart. Imagine a river flowing calmly. When the water is clear and tranquil, it reflects the sky perfectly. But if the river is disturbed by rocks or dirt, the water becomes murky and rages uncontrollably. Anger is much like that river. It disturbs the calmness within us, making our mind murky and restless. But it does not mean the river itself is bad, just as anger itself is not evil. It is the disturbance and lack of understanding that creates suffering. In Buddhism, anger is seen as one of the 3 poisons because it clouds our wisdom and peace. Yet, the ancient wisdom does not instruct us to reject or fight anger aggressively. Instead, it encourages us to observe it softly, like a curious child watching a new experience. When we watch anger with kind attention, without judgment or fear, it begins to lose its power over us. Why does anger arise? It happens when our expectations of how life should be are not met. When someone hurts us, belittles us, or does not treat us with respect, the fire of anger ignites. But this fire, if not tended with care, can burn down not only others but also ourselves. The Buddha taught that anger is like a flame that burns both the one who holds it and the one it touches. The moment we become angry, our ability to see clearly is hidden behind a veil of pain and hurt. Our heart tightens like a closed fist, and the warmth of forgiveness feels far away. But here lies the beauty of Buddhist teaching. The mind is naturally pure and calm when not disturbed by strong feelings. Anger is temporary. It is the cloud that passes across the sky of our true nature. Think about it like this. When the sun shines behind the clouds, it is still bright and warm. The clouds do not take away the sun. They only hide it for a while. The same way, our peaceful nature is always there inside us, shining behind the clouds of anger and frustration. The Zen master would say, "Do not be afraid to face your anger. Instead, welcome it gently. When you feel the heat rise inside, pause and breathe deeply. Notice the feeling without pushing it away or letting it grow." This simple act of awareness is like opening a window in a closed room. Fresh air enters and the heavy feeling lightens. In Buddhism, mindfulness is the key to this awakening. Mindfulness means paying attention to what is happening in the present moment, with kindness and curiosity. When anger arises, mindfulness invites us to notice it as it is, not as a story or a label. "I am angry" is different from "I am a bad person because I am angry." The first is a fact. The second is a harsh judgment that causes more pain. Understanding anger in this way opens the door to transforming it. Instead of reacting with more anger or bitterness, we can choose to respond with calmness and patience. It is not easy, and it takes practice, but every moment of choosing peace is a victory. Buddhism also teaches that anger is closely tied to attachment, the desire for things to be a certain way. When we cling to our own views and refuse to accept reality, anger finds a place to grow. Letting go of attachment does not mean giving up on life, but it means accepting impermanence and change as the natural flow. When you accept that life is always changing, that people make mistakes, and situations are not always perfect, the tight grip of anger begins to loosen. This does not make you weak. On the contrary, it makes you strong and free. One beautiful teaching from the Buddha is about loving kindness, called metta. When we practice loving kindness towards ourselves and others, anger melts away slowly. This does not mean ignoring injustice or harm, but responding with a heart that seeks understanding rather than revenge. Can you imagine how peaceful the world would be if we all responded to anger with loving kindness? It may sound difficult, but it starts with small moments. One breath, one smile, one kind thought at a time. Remember, the path to ending anger is not to fight fire with fire, but to bring water, the gentle power of awareness, patience, and love. As you walk this path, you will discover that anger no longer controls your actions or thoughts. Instead, you become the calm river, reflecting the light of wisdom even when the rocks disturb your flow. This is the Buddhist view of anger, not enemy, but teacher, not monster, but messenger. When we understand this deeply, we begin to live with a heart wide open, free from the chains of anger. So, dear friend, when anger visits you next time, greet it gently. Watch it with kindness. See it as a chance to learn about yourself and the world more deeply. This simple shift in perspective is the beginning of a life where anger no longer holds the keys. And with this understanding comes the first step to freedom. May your heart find the peace that has always been there, waiting quietly beneath the surface. Walk gently on this path, knowing that every moment is a new chance to choose calm. Thank you for listening to this gentle truth. The journey is long, but every step leads to boundless peace. May your days be calm, your heart be light, and your spirit be free. Dear friends, as we continue on this gentle journey, let's explore together the deep roots of anger often hidden beneath the surface. In Buddhism, anger does not suddenly appear like a bolt of lightning from a clear sky. Instead, it grows quietly, nurtured by the seeds of ego, desire, and attachment. These are the roots that feed the fire inside us. Imagine a tree. Its branches and leaves are what we see, the anger that surfaces and bursts forth. But beneath the ground, the roots dig deep and hold on tightly. Ego is like those roots. It tells us, I am right, you are wrong, my way is best. It creates a barrier between us and others, making us feel separate and powerless when things don't go our way. This sense of I and mine is natural, but when it clings too tightly, it becomes a prison. The desire to protect our self-image makes us quick to defend, to attack, and to hold grudges. This is the soil in which anger flourishes. Desire is another root. We want things to be as we wish. When life does not match those wishes, frustration grows. Maybe it's a desire for respect, for fairness, for love, or even just a quiet moment. When these desires are unmet, the heart feels wounded. Attachment ties closely with desire. It means clinging to objects, people, ideas, or outcomes. Buddhism teaches that attachment is the cause of suffering because everything in life is always changing. When we refuse to let go, anger arises as a signal that something within us is holding too tightly. Think for a moment about holding a cup of hot tea. If you grip it too tightly, your hand will burn. Holding on to anger is like that. The more we clutch, the more pain we bring to ourselves. The Buddha's wisdom encourages us to see these roots and gently loosen their grip. When we recognize that our ego is just a story we tell ourselves, we begin to find freedom. When we see desire as a cloud that blocks our clear sky, we open space for peace. But this awareness does not mean ignoring these feelings or pretending they do not exist. It means seeing them clearly, without judgment, and understanding their nature. Ego often makes us believe we are separate from others, turning moments of difficulty into personal attacks. Yet, Buddhism teaches that all beings are connected. Our anger often arises because we forget this connection and feel isolated. When you feel anger boil inside, pause and ask yourself, is this about me alone? Or is there a deeper connection I am missing? This question is powerful because it softens the boundaries in the heart. Desire tries to control the uncontrollable. Life will always change. People will not always act as we wish. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means feeling the pain, but allowing the river of life to flow on. To practice this, you might remember the teaching of impermanence called anicca in Pali. Everything changes: thoughts, emotions, people, and situations. Holding on to anger is like trying to trap a wave in your hands. Loosening attachment is like opening your fingers and letting the wave return to the ocean. The pain may still be there, but it no longer controls you. Buddhism also shows us the power of humility. When the ego bows and sees itself not as the center of the universe, anger loses its fuel. Humility allows space for understanding and forgiveness. This understanding invites us to respond rather than react. Between the impulse of anger and action lies a moment of choice. In that pause, wisdom can arise. Imagine planting a seed of patience in that moment. It is small, but if nurtured, it grows into a mighty tree that shades your heart from future storms. Dear friends, this process is not quick or easy. It is a lifelong practice. But every small step toward recognizing these roots weakens anger's hold on you. As we walk this path, remember to be gentle with yourself. Change comes slowly, like autumn leaves falling one by one. Trust that by embracing the truth of ego, desire, and attachment, you are uncovering the keys to true freedom. Let your heart be soft, your awareness clear, and your journey steady. Thank you for opening your heart to this reflection. May peace grow in your soul with every breath. Dear friends, let us now turn our attention to a very powerful yet gentle path, stillness. Think about the chaos inside when anger rages, like a storm tossing a small boat on rough seas. The waves crash, the wind howls, and the boat struggles to stay afloat. But imagine, if only for a moment, the storm subsides, the sea calms, and the boat rests peacefully on smooth waters. This stillness is the haven within us, waiting to be discovered. In Buddhism, stillness is not about stopping life or emotions, but about finding a calm space inside where the mind can rest. This space is like the eye of the storm, the quiet center that remains untouched even when turbulence surrounds it. When we learn to access this inner stillness, anger loses its roar and becomes a passing cloud. The practice of mindful awareness leads us to this calm. Mindfulness means paying gentle, loving attention to the present moment. It asks us to watch thoughts and feelings as they come and go without grabbing onto them or pushing them away. Imagine watching clouds float across the sky, noticing their shapes, colors, and movement, but knowing they will pass. When anger arises, mindfulness invites us to see it clearly, its heat, its tension, its messages, without being swept away. This simple act of watching softens the fire inside and prepares the heart for peace. The Zen master would remind us that the body holds great wisdom. Anger often tightens muscles, quickens breath, and raises the heartbeat. By gently tuning into the body, we can catch anger before it blooms fully. Breathing deeply and slowly, feeling the rise and fall, create space between the feeling and the reaction. This space is powerful. It is like the pause before the next word spoken. It can change the meaning entirely. When we practice this pause, we gift ourselves the choice to respond with clarity rather than react with rashness. Imagine a garden. If we rush through it, we miss the blossoms. With mindfulness, we stop to see each flower, listen to birds singing, breathe the fresh air. Similarly, mindful awareness helps us notice our feelings before they take over. Stillness also invites patience. In our busy world, waiting is often seen as weakness. But patience is a great strength. It allows the river of emotions to flow naturally without force or blockage. When a wave of anger rises, patience says, "It is okay to feel this. I am here. I will wait until it passes." Holding anger tightly only feeds its fire. Allowing it to flow and fade is like letting go of a leaf floating downstream. This does not mean ignoring injustice or harm. Buddhism teaches us to be brave and compassionate. Stillness gives us the clarity to see when action is needed and when words should wait. One simple practice is to sit quietly each day, however briefly, and watch the breath. With each inhale and exhale, the mind is invited back to calm waters. As the mind settles, anger loses its grip. The boat floats gently once again. Mindful awareness of stillness grows stronger with practice, and each moment of calm nourishes the heart. This gentle power softens old wounds and provides healing balm. The Zen master urges us to remember, stillness is always available within. It is not something to be earned or achieved, but remembered. Like a lamp waiting to be lit, our inner stillness shines brightly when we give it attention. Keep returning to this calm center. In time, it becomes your natural state. Life's storms may come and go, but your boat will always find the quiet sea. In embracing stillness, you are choosing peace over turmoil, clarity over confusion. This path is the art of living with grace and courage, meeting every moment as it is. Walk gently in this awareness, dear friend, knowing that stillness is your refuge and strength. May each breath bring you closer to the deep calm within. Thank you for opening your heart to this teaching. May your journey be filled with serene moments of stillness and light. Let me know if you want me to continue expanding this further toward the 10,000 character mark or start the next part. Here is part 4 of the script narrated as a Zen master in very simple, warm, and heart-touching descriptive language. It focuses on the power of stillness and mindful awareness to calm anger. This part is about 4,000 characters long. Dear friends, let us now turn our attention to a very powerful yet gentle path, stillness. Think about the chaos inside when anger rages, like a storm tossing a small boat on rough seas. The waves crash, the wind howls, and the boat struggles to stay afloat. But imagine, if only for a moment, the storm subsides, the sea calms, and the boat rests peacefully on smooth waters. This stillness is the haven within us, waiting to be discovered. In Buddhism, stillness is not about stopping life or emotions, but about finding a calm space inside where the mind can rest. This space is like the eye of the storm, the quiet center that remains untouched even when turbulence surrounds it. When we learn to access this inner stillness, anger loses its roar and becomes a passing cloud. The practice of mindful awareness leads us to this calm. Mindfulness means paying gentle, loving attention to the present moment. It asks us to watch thoughts and feelings as they come and go without grabbing onto them or pushing them away. Imagine watching clouds float across the sky, noticing their shapes, colors, and movement, but knowing they will pass. When anger arises, mindfulness invites us to see it clearly, its heat, its tension, its messages, without being swept away. This simple act of watching softens the fire inside and prepares the heart for peace. The Zen master would remind us that the body holds great wisdom. Anger often tightens muscles, quickens breath, and raises the heartbeat. By gently tuning into the body, we can catch anger before it blooms fully. Breathing deeply and slowly, feeling the rise and fall, create space between the feeling and the reaction. This space is powerful. It is like the pause before the next word spoken. It can change the meaning entirely. When we practice this pause, we gift ourselves the choice to respond with clarity rather than react with rashness. Imagine a garden. If we rush through it, we miss the blossoms. With mindfulness, we stop to see each flower, listen to birds singing, breathe the fresh air. Similarly, mindful awareness helps us notice our feelings before they take over. Stillness also invites patience. In our busy world, waiting is often seen as weakness. But patience is a great strength. It allows the river of emotions to flow naturally without force or blockage. When a wave of anger rises, patience says, "It is okay to feel this. I am here. I will wait until it passes." Holding anger tightly only feeds its fire. Allowing it to flow and fade is like letting go of a leaf floating downstream. This does not mean ignoring injustice or harm. Buddhism teaches us to be brave and compassionate. Stillness gives us the clarity to see when action is needed and when words should wait. One simple practice is to sit quietly each day, however briefly, and watch the breath. With each inhale and exhale, the mind is invited back to calm waters. As the mind settles, anger loses its grip. The boat floats gently once again. Mindful awareness of stillness grows stronger with practice, and each moment of calm nourishes the heart. This gentle power softens old wounds and provides healing balm. The Zen master urges us to remember, stillness is always available within. It is not something to be earned or achieved, but remembered. Like a lamp waiting to be lit, our inner stillness shines brightly when we give it attention. Keep returning to this calm center. In time, it becomes your natural state. Life storms may come and go, but your boat will always find the quiet sea. In embracing stillness, you are choosing peace over turmoil, clarity over confusion. This path is the art of living with grace and courage, meeting every moment as it is. Walk gently in this awareness, dear friend, knowing that stillness is your refuge and strength. May each breath bring you closer to the deep calm within. Thank you for opening your heart to this teaching. May your journey be filled with serene moments of stillness and light. Dear friends, as we continue our path of understanding, let us now open the gentle door of compassion. Compassion is a golden thread woven through the teachings of Buddhism, a power so soft yet so strong that it can turn the harsh flames of anger into the warm light of kindness. Think about the times when someone's anger made you hold your breath or feel pain deep inside. Now imagine responding not with more fire, but with a heart full of compassion, a heart that seeks to understand rather than to blame. Compassion begins with seeing beyond the surface. When a person lashes out with anger, behind it often lies pain, fear, or confusion. It is like a storm raging in their heart. Instead of meeting that storm with another storm, compassion invites us to become the calm that soothes it. We learn to see the person as human, with struggles and wounds just like we have. The Zen master would remind us that everyone carries burdens unseen. Just as we all have moments when anger overflows, others too are searching for peace beneath their troubles. When we recognize this shared humanity, our own anger begins to soften, and understanding takes its place. Compassion is not weakness. It is the bravest act of all. It requires courage to look at someone who harms or wounds us and still choose empathy over revenge. This does not mean allowing harm or ignoring injustice. Instead, it means responding from a place of strength and wisdom. In Buddhist practice, compassion starts within. We must first be kind to ourselves, to see our own anger and pain with gentle eyes. When we forgive ourselves for being imperfect, we build the foundation to forgive others. This is not always easy. Our minds may tell us to hold on tightly to hurt and anger, but the heart remembers a deeper truth. Kindness is healing. Picture a small seed planted in the soil. Compassion is like water and sunlight for that seed. With care, it grows and spreads, first within ourselves, then reaching out to others. Every loving thought, every patient word, lights another spark of peace in the world. When anger arises, try imagining the other person's pain or fears. What might have caused their anger? How might they be suffering? This shift in perspective dissolves the sharp edges of our own anger and replaces it with gentle understanding. Buddhism teaches us the practice of metta, or loving-kindness meditation. In this practice, we silently wish happiness, health, and peace to ourselves and others, even to those who have hurt us. This might feel strange at first, but with patience, it slowly changes the heart. Love and compassion are not limited resources. The more we give, the more they grow. When we nurture compassion, it becomes easier to stay calm and avoid the traps of anger. Compassion shows us that anger is often a call for love, a heart's desperate attempt to be seen or heard. When we respond with compassion, we answer that call not with more pain, but with healing light. Imagine two hands, one holding anger tightly, the other opening gently to give and receive kindness. Which hand would bring more peace? The path of compassion asks us to choose the open hand. This is not a simple or quick journey. Compassion requires practice, patience, and humility. But each moment of kindness, even to ourselves, is a step closer to freedom from anger. Do not be discouraged if old habits return. Like a garden in changing seasons, our hearts may have times of bloom and times of rest. Keep watering the seeds of compassion with intention and love. Remember, compassion is the language of the heart. It speaks without words and heals without a touch. When you practice compassion daily, you're not only calming your own storm, but also helping to still the storms in others. Through compassion, anger loses its power because it is met with understanding, not resistance. Like fire meeting water, the flames soften and fade. The Zen master reminds us that this is the true power of compassion, a quiet strength that transforms not only anger, but the very way we relate to the world. Walk gently on this path of kindness, dear friend. Let your heart be a sanctuary of love where anger finds no refuge. May your days be filled with the light of compassion, softening the hardest corners of your soul. Thank you for sharing this moment of peace. May your journey blossom with endless compassion and joy. Dear friends, today let us explore together the precious art of patience, a jewel too often forgotten, but so vital in freeing ourselves from the grip of anger. Patience is like a quiet river flowing steadily through our lives, gentle yet strong enough to carve mountains over time. It is the heart's ability to wait, to endure difficulty without burning in the fire of frustration or rage. How often do we find ourselves caught in the storm of anger because things did not move as fast as we wished? Perhaps a harsh word from a loved one, a delay in our plans, or even the mistakes we ourselves make. In those moments, impatience fans the flames, making the fire rage higher. But patience invites us to breathe deeply, to slow down, and to meet life's challenges with calm endurance. Buddhism teaches us that patience is not passive weakness, but an active strength. It is the power to hold space for discomfort and pain without losing our center. When anger calls loudly, Patience answers with a quiet voice, "This too shall pass." These words are like a balm soothing a burning wound. Imagine a farmer planting seeds in the ground. The farmer does not rush the growth, but patiently tends the soil, waters the plants, and waits for the right time for harvest. Our hearts need this same patience, not forcing change, but allowing peace to grow gently within. The Zen master would remind us that patience begins within our own being, waiting for ourselves to learn, to transform, to heal. Often, we expect too much too soon, and when the mind resists, anger blossoms. But with patience, we let go of harsh judgment and open to our natural pace. Sometimes, anger arises from the frustration of unmet expectations of our own or others. Patience asks us to soften those expectations and accept reality as it is. This does not mean giving up on growth or improvement, but it means releasing the tight grip of needing everything to be perfect right now. This gentle acceptance creates room for kindness towards ourselves and others. When we are patient, we stop the cycle of reaction and give space for understanding to grow. The heart that waits calmly is like a clear sky after a storm. The peace shines brightly. Patience also teaches us to listen, to really listen with the heart. When anger surges, often our ears close and our minds shout. But when we practice patience, we open ourselves to hear others deeply, to understand their pain or fears without rushing to judgment or defense. This listening softens the fences between hearts and builds bridges of connection. We find that often, anger is a misunderstood language, a cry for help beneath the noise. Patience lets us translate this cry with compassion. One beautiful practice is to remember that every moment of patience is a small victory over the fire of anger. Even a few breathful seconds before reacting, choosing silence, a smile, or gentle words can transform the path of our lives. The Zen master would say, "Be kind to yourself when impatience arises. It is a natural human feeling, not a failure. Simply return to patience again and again, like a river flowing steadily in its course." Time is the teacher here. With each moment of patience, the heart grows wider and the storms quieter. Patience opens the door to forgiveness, another key to releasing anger. When we wait with patience, we create the possibility to forgive ourselves and others, to soften old wounds and find freedom from resentment. Buddhism calls this kshanti, the patience that embraces hardship without bitterness. It is the strength to accept pain without adding more suffering. Dear friends, cultivating patience is a lifelong journey, full of ups and downs, moments of great calm, and times of struggle. But every step forward is a step toward the freedom that comes from releasing anger's chains. Through patience, we learn the art of presence, being fully with whatever arises without resistance or reaction. This presence is the fertile soil where peace blossoms. So when anger rises in your heart, remember the flowing river. Let patience carry you through the turbulent waters, gently guiding you back to calm. This gift of patience nourishes the soul and illuminates the path ahead. May your heart find strength in waiting, courage in stillness, and peace in every breath. Walk gently, dear friend, with patience as your faithful companion. May your days be filled with the soft light of enduring peace and the quiet joy of acceptance. Thank you for sharing this moment of reflection. May your journey be rich with the blessings of patience and love. Dear friends, let us now explore the gentle and healing power of meditation. the medicine for the storms inside our hearts. Meditation is like a calm lake where the ripples of anger slowly settle to reveal the clear, peaceful water beneath. It is a simple yet profound practice that allows us to look deeply inside, to meet our emotions with kindness, and to find the quiet center that is always waiting. Imagine a busy marketplace in your mind, thoughts rushing, feelings clashing, noise everywhere. Anger often rises in this clamor, pushing and pulling us into chaos. Meditation invites us to step back, to find a quiet place inside ourselves, and to watch the marketplace from a distance. Here, we do not join the noise, but simply observe with gentle attention. The Zen master teaches that meditation is not about stopping thoughts or forcing calm, but about learning to be present with what is happening without fighting it. When anger appears, we do not chase it away, nor do we hold on to it. We simply notice it, like watching a cloud drift by in the sky. This gentle observation weakens anger's grip and begins the healing process. One of the simplest forms of meditation is focusing on the breath. Breathing is always with us. The rise and fall of our chest, the cool air entering, the warm air leaving. When anger feels strong, bring your attention to your breath. Feel it as a steady anchor in the turbulent sea of emotion. With each breath, allow tension to soften, the mind to clear. Meditation also teaches us patience. Patience with ourselves and our feelings. Sometimes anger may feel overwhelming, but in meditation we learn to sit quietly with it without fear. Like a traveler resting on the road, we allow the feelings to be, knowing they are temporary visitors. The practice of meditation deepens empathy and compassion. When the mind becomes still, we begin to understand not just our own suffering, but the suffering of others. This understanding gently dissolves anger and opens our hearts to kindness and forgiveness. Buddhist meditation often includes loving kindness, or metta, a practice where we silently send wishes for peace and happiness to ourselves, loved ones, even those who challenge us. This practice is like planting seeds of love in the garden of our hearts, slowly replacing anger with warmth. The Zen master would remind us that meditation is a journey, not a destination. It requires gentle discipline and kindness. Some days meditation feels easy. Others, it may seem difficult, but each moment spent in stillness nourishes the soul and brings us closer to freedom. Regular practice, even just a few minutes a day, creates a foundation of calm that protects us from the storms of anger. Like building a strong shelter, meditation prepares us to face life's challenges with balance and peace. When anger threatens to take over, returning to meditation is like returning to home. It reminds us that beneath every wave of emotion lies a deep and unchanging calm. Imagine carrying a quiet garden within you, a place of rest and renewal that you can visit anytime. This is the gift of meditation. It also teaches us to observe the connection between body and mind. When anger rises, the body often tightens, breath quickens. Through meditation, we learn to notice these signs early and gently relax, preventing anger from growing. The breath becomes the bridge between turbulence and tranquility, between chaos and calm. Dear friends, meditation is not about perfection, but about compassionately showing up for ourselves. It is an act of love, a promise to meet each feeling with kindness and understanding. With time, meditation softens the edges of anger and helps us respond to life with wisdom and grace instead of reaction and regret. May your meditation journey be filled with quiet moments of peace, deep understanding, and gentle love. Walk this path with an open heart and steady breath, dear friend. Know that every moment of stillness brings you closer to the calm within. Thank you for sharing in this sacred practice today. May your heart find healing and your spirit shine with serene light. Dear friends, today let us walk the middle path, a balanced way that embraces energy without letting anger take control. The middle path is a core teaching of Buddhism, inviting us to avoid extremes and find harmony within. It is like walking a tightrope with steady focus, neither falling into fiery fury nor dull silence, but moving with grace between the two. Anger often arises from imbalance, either too much reaction or too much suppression. Sometimes we explode like a volcano, and other times we bury the feelings deep inside, which can hurt us silently over time. Buddhism offers the middle path as a way to feel our emotions fully without being overwhelmed or disconnected. Imagine a spinning wheel that needs to keep turning smoothly. If it spins too fast, it breaks. If it slows too much, it stops. Our emotions are like that wheel. With the middle path, we learn to keep the wheel turning at a steady pace, feeling our anger without letting it spiral out of control. The Zen master teaches that anger does not vanish by pushing it down or ignoring it, nor does it disappear by exploding outward. Instead, the path asks us to welcome anger as a visitor, sit with it gently, and allow it to pass naturally without feeding it or fighting it. This balance begins with awareness. When anger starts to rise, notice it without judgment. See how the fire kindles in your chest, or how tension grows in your muscles. Acknowledge these sensations as part of your current experience, but remind yourself that they do not define you. The middle path encourages us to express our feelings honestly, but wisely. Sometimes sharing our frustrations calmly can relieve tension and deepen understanding. Other times, choosing silence or walking away preserves peace. Wisdom is the guide that helps us decide which way to go. Buddhism encourages this thoughtful response over impulsive reaction. It is a dance between heart and mind, where the heart feels deeply and the mind responds clearly. Imagine a calm lake reflecting the sky. When a stone is thrown, ripples spread, but soon the water becomes still again. The middle path teaches us to be that calm lake, acknowledging variations in the mind without losing our center. This path is also about accepting impermanence, the truth that everything changes. Anger may come and go like waves, but peace is always ready to return. Holding too tightly to anger only causes more pain. The middle path invites us to loosen our grasp gently. Sometimes anger is a signal, a teacher showing us areas in life that need attention or change. Instead of reacting with fear or denial, the middle path helps us listen deeply to these messages with curiosity and care. It also invites compassion for ourselves and others. When we recognize that anger is part of human experience, we approach ourselves without harsh judgment. We learn that all beings struggle with difficult feelings and that patience is essential. Buddhism shows many ways to practice the middle path daily. Meditation, mindful breathing, and gentle reflection help us stay connected to our center. These practices train us to notice when imbalance appears and to restore harmony quickly. The Zen master reminds us that walking the middle path is not always easy. Life often pulls us towards extremes, but every step back to balance is a victory. Remember, The path is not about perfection, but about progress. It is natural to feel anger, but by choosing balance, we live with more peace, clarity, and joy. As you journey this way, be gentle with yourself. Celebrate the moments when you pause, breathe, and choose peace over turmoil. Your heart is like a compass, guiding you toward harmony and freedom. May you walk this middle path with courage, grace, and love. Let each breath remind you of your steady ground amid changing waves. Thank you for sharing in this reflection. May your days be balanced, your heart peaceful, and your spirit bright. Dear friends, as we continue our gentle journey, let us now turn our hearts and minds to the power of words, the delicate and profound art of speech that can soothe or inflame, heal or harm. In the midst of anger, words often become weapons, sharp and cutting, leaving wounds that last long after the heat of the moment has passed. But the Buddha teaches us that words, when chosen with care and kindness, can be like water calming a fire. Imagine a garden where every word you speak is a seed. Some seeds grow into beautiful flowers of peace, understanding, and love. Others grow into weeds of pain and division. The words we choose plant the landscape of our relationships and the world around us. The Zen master reminds us that speech is more than just sound. It carries the energy of our thoughts and feelings. When anger fills the heart, words often rush out unchecked, fueled by hurt and frustration. But these words can damage trust and respect, hurting others and ourselves. In Buddhism, one of the great teachings is to practice right speech. This means speaking truthfully, kindly, and thoughtfully. It means avoiding harsh words, lies, gossip, and speech that stirs up anger or hatred. Right speech is a path of mindfulness that connects our words with the calmness and wisdom we seek inside. When anger rises, it helps to pause before speaking. This pause, even for a moment, creates space, a place where we can ask ourselves, will these words bring peace or pain? Will they heal or hurt? This simple question invites wisdom to guide the tongue. Imagine holding a cup of hot water. Would you spill it carelessly, or would you handle it gently? Our words need the same care and attention. When spoken with kindness, they cool the fire of anger instead of fanning its flames. The Zen master teaches that silence, too, is a powerful form of speech. Choosing not to respond in anger is a courageous act. Silence can be the shield that protects both hearts, allowing space for cooler understanding to grow. But silence is not avoidance. It is mindful choice. Sometimes, kind words spoken at the right time can open hearts and bring light to dark moments. Other times, silence holds respect and peace. Buddhism also invites us to listen deeply when we communicate. Listening with openness and attention is a sacred act. It shows respect and creates connection. When we listen well, misunderstandings soften and anger loses its hold. Practice speaking with intention. Let your words reflect your true feelings, but also your truest wishes for peace and harmony. Speak as if your words can change the world, because they can. Remember, words are threads weaving the fabric of our lives and relationships. Gentle, truthful words create a tapestry of love and trust. Harsh words create tears and rifts. When anger threatens to spill from your lips, breathe deeply and let compassion guide your speech. Speak as if you are holding a fragile flower, softly and with care. Know that by choosing your words thoughtfully, you are planting seeds of peace, not only for yourself, but for all beings. The Buddha reminded us that speech is the mirror of the mind. Let your mirror reflect the calm, bright light of understanding and love. Dear friends, the path of right speech is a lifelong practice. Sometimes easy, sometimes difficult. Forgive yourself on the days words escape in frustration, and commit again to the path of kindness. Your voice has power. Use it wisely and with a heart full of love. May your words be gentle rain on thirsty ground, bringing life, hope, and peace. Walk softly with your speech, dear friend, and watch how the world around you begins to transform. Thank you for sharing in this reflection. May your days be filled with kind words, deep listening, and heartfelt connections. Dear friends, today let us deeply contemplate the gentle yet powerful law of karma. The truth that every action, thought, and word we send into the world returns to us like a boomerang. This law is as natural as the rising sun, a steady rhythm that reminds us of the consequences of anger and the blessings of peace. Imagine a mirror reflecting your smile or frown perfectly back to you. Karma acts like that mirror. What you project outward is reflected back into your life. When anger flies like an angry storm toward others, it does not disappear into the void. It circles around and touches our own hearts again. The pain and unrest we send out return to us, multiplied by the force of our own actions. In Buddhism, karma teaches us that anger is never a harmless act. Though it may feel like a momentary release, its effects linger long after the fire burns out. It burns bridges in relationships, clouds the mind, and causes suffering both for ourselves and for those around us. The Zen master would say, "Every angry word spoken plants a seed that will grow in the garden of our future experiences." If we plant thorns, we can expect to harvest wounds. But if we plant seeds of peace, kindness, and understanding, those are the fruits that will ripen in time. This law of cause and effect is neither punishment nor reward. It is simply the dance of life's interconnectedness. Everything we do ripples through time and space, touching many lives in ways we cannot always see. When anger arises, it invites us to remember responsibility, our power to choose what energy we send into the world. We cannot always control what others do, but we can control how we respond. Think of anger as a strong wind pushing a fragile boat. Steering the boat towards calm waters is the choice we make with mindfulness and compassion. This steering shapes the course of our karma. The Buddha taught that understanding karma helps us break free from suffering. When we become aware of how anger creates suffering, the mind naturally seeks peace instead. Imagine a well-tended garden, peaceful and vibrant. Karma is like the gardener, nurturing either flowers or weeds depending on the seeds planted. With every choice, we decide what grows in our hearts and lives. Karma also touches the body and mind deeply. Anger tightens muscles, raises blood pressure, and clouds thought. These effects can lead to illness and unhappiness. Healing begins when we cultivate peace and calm, sending positive energy into ourselves and others. One beautiful truth is that karma is not fixed. The past does not imprison us. Every present moment offers the chance to plant new seeds. Seeds of forgiveness, gentleness, and love that change our future. The Zen master would gently remind us that every act of kindness, every patient breath, every forgiving smile transforms our karma toward freedom. When anger arises, pause and think of the long path of karma. Will this angry action sow peace or pain for you and others? This awareness gives us power, not fear, to change the course of our lives. Choosing peace creates a circle of kindness, touching many unseen hearts. Karma reminds us of the deep connection between all beings. When we harm others, we harm ourselves. When we heal others, we heal ourselves. Dear friends, living with this understanding, anger loses much of its strength. It becomes a teacher showing us which seeds need tending differently. Patience, compassion, and mindful speech are the tools we carry on this journey, helping us sow harmony in the fields of our lives. May your steps be guided by this wisdom of karma, planting peace in every thought, word, and deed. May your heart open to the truth that love and kindness always return, blooming brighter with time. Walk gently, dear friend, knowing that each choice shapes your path and the world around you. Dear friends, now we come to the practical heart of our journey, the daily practices that gently dissolve anger and invite peace into our lives. The Zen master reminds us that understanding and wisdom are most powerful when they become lived experience. It is in the small moments of our day, the simple choices we make, that transformation truly takes root and blossoms. Begin each day with a moment of stillness. Before rising, take a few slow breaths, grounding yourself in the present. Feel your body awake, and invite a sense of calm to fill you. This gentle start creates a foundation of peace that can carry you through challenges. When anger begins to stir during the day, remember the breath. Breathing deeply and slowly brings the mind back from the edge of reaction. Each mindful breath is like a drop of water calming a restless sea. Try to notice the early signs of anger: tightness in the chest, quickened pulse, or tense muscles. When you recognize these signals, pause gently. This pause is a precious gift. It gives you space to choose peace instead of fiery reaction. Practice the simple act of naming your feeling. This is anger. By naming the emotion, you take a step back from it, no longer merging with its storm. This space of awareness softens the grip anger has on you. Listening deeply is another powerful tool. When someone else's anger rises, offer your full attention without judgment or interruption. This act of kindness often helps calm the moment and opens the way for understanding and healing. Choose words with care. Speak slowly and softly, avoiding harsh or blaming language. If you feel too upset to speak kindly, it is okay to pause or step away temporarily. Silence in such moments can protect relationships and preserve peace. Make time each day for meditation, even if only for a few minutes. Sit quietly, focusing on your breath or practicing loving kindness meditation. These moments nourish your inner calm and strengthen your capacity to respond with love rather than anger. Remember to be gentle with yourself. When old patterns of anger arise, do not scold or punish yourself. Instead, return to kindness and patience, knowing transformation takes time. Each moment of returning to peace is a victory. Cultivate gratitude by noticing and appreciating small blessings throughout your day. The warmth of sunlight, a smile from a stranger, the taste of your meal. Gratitude opens the heart and weakens the roots of anger. Engage in acts of kindness, no matter how small. Offer a helping hand, a kind word, or a thoughtful gesture. These simple actions create ripples of peace within and around you. Embrace forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. Holding on to grievances fuels anger, But forgiveness is a key that unlocks the door to freedom. It is a gift you give yourself as much as anyone else. Practice patience, especially in difficult moments. Remind yourself that every person, including you, is on their own path, learning and growing. This perspective softens judgments and opens empathy. Let yourself feel the full range of your emotions without shame. Anger is a natural feeling, but how we handle it shapes our experience. Meeting anger with awareness and kindness transforms it from a threat into a teacher. In moments of intense anger, try physical movement. Walking slowly, stretching, or gentle yoga can help release built-up tension and clear the mind. Create a peaceful space in your home or workplace. A corner with calming objects, soft light, or favorite scents. This sanctuary invites you to return to calm whenever life feels overwhelming. Surround yourself with supportive people who inspire calm and understanding. Sharing practice and encouragement strengthens your commitment to change. The Zen master teaches that daily practice is not about perfection but presence. The continual choice to notice, breathe, and respond with love. Every step you take on this path of practice is a seed planted that will grow into blossoming peace. Patience and compassion for yourself in this journey open the doorway to lasting freedom from anger. Dear friends, trust in the power of small, consistent actions. They create waves of transformation within your heart and radiate outward to the world. May your days be filled with mindful moments, loving connections, and gentle peace. Walk this practical path with steady heart and open mind. Your journey is sacred and worth every step. Dear friends, as we arrive at this final part of our journey together, let us open our hearts to the liberation that awaits beyond anger. The true peace and freedom that can transform our lives forever. The Zen master teaches that beyond every storm lies clear sky. Beyond every struggle rests deep calm. And beyond every moment of anger waits the gentle light of awakening. Anger is a visitor, not a permanent resident. It rises and falls like the tide, but it cannot touch the essence of who we truly are. The path we have walked together has shown us that anger does not need to control us. It is possible to live with a heart wide open, free from the chains of resentment and rage. Imagine the vast sky, untouched by clouds despite their passing. This vastness is your true nature, pure and peaceful, always present beneath the surface of turbulent feelings. When you awaken to this reality, anger loses its power. It becomes like a river flowing past, never flooding the land of your spirit. The Zen master reminds us that liberation is not a distant goal, but a present moment choice. Each time we notice anger and choose peace instead, we step closer to true freedom. This freedom is not about suppressing emotions, but about embracing life with clarity and compassion. You have learned to see anger as a teacher, a messenger pointing to where healing is needed. By welcoming anger with mindfulness, patience, and kindness, you transform it into a guide leading toward deeper understanding and love. Your journey has been filled with gentle practices, breath that anchors you, words that heal, patience that endures, compassion that opens the heart, and meditation that reveals your inner calm. These are not just lessons, but treasures to carry throughout your life. There may still be moments when anger arises, as it is part of the human experience. But now, these moments are met with awareness and a steady heart. You know that the clouds cannot hide the sun forever, and your peaceful nature shines through. The Zen master invites you to release all bitterness. holding only gratitude for the growth you have gained. Forgiveness, both for yourself and others, is the final key unlocking lasting peace. It gently frees the heart to love fully and live joyfully. Imagine living each day as a celebration of freedom, free from the cycle of anger, free to embrace each moment with openness and grace. This is the promise of your awakening. As you continue on this path, remember to nurture your inner garden with kindness and care. Return often to stillness and breath, the roots that sustain your peace. Walk through the world gently, knowing your heart is a beacon of calm amid the noise. Your peace is a gift to yourself and a light for others. Before we part, dear friends, the Wisdom Woven family wishes to remind you, there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Joining this community helps spread peace and healing to many more hearts around the world. May your life be filled with boundless joy, unshakable calm, and endless love. May every breath remind you of your true nature, free, peaceful, and whole. Thank you for walking this sacred path with us. May your days be bright, your spirit gentle, and your heart forever free.